All right, everybody, welcome back. So we've got the group here, and so kind of coming from the game's prior predecessor, I guess, Immortal Conquest, which some of y'all might be familiar with. The way this season works and how we want to discourage people from constantly restarting, because this game does not work like a lot of the other mobile games out there, like Rise of Kingdoms, for instance, is a big one, where seasons are like one and done. One season is all you get, and that's you. All of your progress is stayed on that server. So once you reach the end game, you're there, you're done. And swapping servers is like a big deal. I think you have to go through some sort of process. In this game specifically, each season will roll over into the next. So the season the way that it's kind of figured is everyone's kind of seen it is the progress on you start at 1 and you go very simple task, and you go all the way up to pretty much conquering Dolgador and occupying 3 capitals pretty much. It's an extended period of time. Like you might think that 11 season task is going to be a lot, but at the end of the day, it's not that much. Or I should say, it takes long to do the last, I would say, 5 or 4, because we are on the last, we're on the 3, yeah, we're on 3. Right before this, Dolgador is going to lose its protection. That's whenever you'll see a whole lot of combat start.
And so to bounce off that a little bit and talking about the different tiers, really, there's only one team or faction that's going to be able to win all the rewards that the season has to offer, which is the challenger status and then the dominator status. Everybody else, at most, is going to get the protector status. And so, even if you're having a bad season, it's not in your best interest to go ahead and switch, because you've already been building up what you already have. You've gotten respect items, and you're effectively just starting all that over. It's best to just go ahead and just keep getting the free draws as they come. Keep working up your tips as you keep going, even if you're having a bad season. And just think, at most, you're going to get the protector season. You're going to get the protector, which is the next set of rewards that you're going to be able to get. It's not even guaranteed that when you go to the next season, or next server I should say, that you're going to be able to just you're just going to be able to get the best rewards. You've got to go in with a game plan and have the best alliance really set up in order to go into that next server and get the best rewards. The other thing too, of why not to switch to another server is really because you might think, wow, next season is pretty much just going to be the same thing. And it's really not the case. Next season, what happens is if it follows the same pattern as Immortal Conquest did, which is this game's predecessor, as IPVP was saying, what's going to happen is you're going to merge servers. And that's because over time, players will drop off at the game. They'll stop playing. And so the best way to conserve the player base is over time, they will start merging servers.
Start consolidating all of the players, and at the end of it, like how I see was the most dedicated players and the most fun was whenever the dedicated players stuck around. It pays to stick around in this game because of the experience that you get later on. I think that's what Josh Strife was talking about. That's part of the reason why I disagree with some of the comments he made about what all was involved in the game. Was I think a whole lot of people are missing the point about Season 1, for instance. A whole lot of people are getting their characters, and they're not going to instantly know how to build every single person. They're not going to know how to... They're not going to have the best equipment. They're not going to have a whole lot of respect. They're missing a whole lot of the point of the game by just saying, oh, this is Season 1. This is all the game's about. This game gives a lot of rewards later on into the game as you stick around. And the way that it's set up right now, I really like. Like, if you get Legolas once, you don't have to worry about continuously drawing him, for instance. You're done getting him, and you can still get your leaves, for instance. But you will always be able to keep getting new characters. So that's always something to appreciate that really I think goes unnoticed, is that you can continuously keep drawing the purple guys and get every single one of them a whole lot easier. as well. And this progress is permanent, because every season I kid you not, there's something so exciting every time about restarting the season and you're back on the grind again, and you're able to just come out swinging, trying out new builds with your guys, how best to optimize your tile taking and being the top of the leaderboards. Like, it's exciting, and now it pays off compared to IC, where there wasn't a reason really to be high powered other than to be high powered. You actually get rewards for doing so.
Yeah, and the other big bonus is say we win Gundor, for instance, this season, even if we didn't win this season, if we stick around, when we merge with other servers, the Gundor of another server could have been the winners of their server. So what's going to happen is we're going to merge with that Gundor faction that's being carried over into our season or into our new server, and so going forward we're actually going to have a leg up. Now that's going to mean that all the other winners of all the other servers that we're merging with, those factions are going to be added in with the other factions that they're joining. So it's going to be creating a pool of really competitive players that are going to continue to play the game. And after the first server merge, that's when you're going to start experiencing the same players, and that's when that's when politics are really going to come in, because even going back to Geoff Stripe's review of the game, I don't recall ever seeing politics ever mentioned in his review of the game, and that was such a big component of when you talk about Immortal Conquest, when you're building these relationships with all these different peoples. There's more to the game than what people are seeing on just a surface level.
Regency, what's your thoughts?
I think you just need to take your L and move on. I think people get so hurt whenever they lose, and I mean, you essentially it is like playing Pokemon. You're playing Pokemon, but you just keep resetting over and over again without keeping the Pokemon. So it's like you can
keep the Pokemon,
it's
but
like play it through, and like say like instead of your Pokemon being erased, they're like say you leveled up a Squirtle to Blastoise. Well, and the new season starts. Well, you don't lose your Blastoise. He just goes back to level 1. It's just stuff like that I just don't understand people's concepts that you could just build. Like, why not just build and grow your account on one server, consolidate your resources, aka financials or whatever you want to call it, and just build your account? Because as I've mentioned, you carry that into the next season, and that gives you an advantage over people that did not build their accounts like you did.
Exactly.
And so there's just too many positive
for sticking it out. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, even if you lose, just log in and get your free draw. And next thing you know, you go into the gold season or next season, and you might have a gold. You might have something. You might have something else to bounce back with. And just to take a look at the rewards. Trying to pull them up right now. That's right, details. Okay, they changed it around a little bit. While the season rewards this time around are item specific, that does not mean that every season we will see item specific. They could possibly mean a whole lot more things. And coming from Immortal Conquest, you know, most of the time it was cards.
Unique gyro.
Yes.
I mean, take unique gyro as well. I mean, it was a completely unique champion for that season.
Yes.
I mean, we can think of Seth and all those other people that were all fantastic.
You will definitely see that this time around. I do not believe that the Warg Rider from The Hobbit, a whole bunch of the Hobbit characters, I believe, have not been introduced. So
no, they haven't yet.
I think that in season 2, 3, 4, and they eventually move on to season X if it's the same. You will see season-specific gyro, or I'm calling them gyro commanders, and you will see. And right now, there is a huge push. The reason why I would stress to win your season 1 and to try hard, getting the mithril coat after season 1 will be difficult. I promise you that much, because you will be joining some of the higher competitive players of the next season. So while your guild or fellowship really dominated season 1, next season you're probably going to be joined with, I don't know the population of how every server will be decided. You might only merge with 2 people, or 2 servers, I should say, you know, and then you will be with two other servers instead of maybe 2, 3, 4, however the population's judged. It will be increasingly harder to get the mithril coat and the gold items specifically, because both of these are really good. I mean, it's almost I would go for mithril coat first if you win the server no matter what, and then you still have a good reason to try even if you don't get Dol Guldur. You can still get regional control. So if you get ring power, capital defense, and regional control, you have enough to buy the smoking pipe, which is really good. Like 20 focus, I think, and then I believe it gives like an extra stat elsewhere. But also, just in case you guys were wondering, in case you had some anxiety about this, your equipment and commanders all stay. I just want to make sure that's clear to everyone. And why you shouldn't just... the main focus that we want to tell everyone is to not restart your character or restart your account on somewhere else. I can understand if you want to play the dark side and you were playing the light side, for instance. I can completely understand that. You're going in there with a different purpose, is to experience the other side. But if you're restarting to play Gondor again and you already started Gondor, there's no point. There's no
Just
reason
stick it
to
out.
do it. Yeah, just
Yep.
stick it out. Get
Take
the
your L
rewards.
if you lose it.
Yes,
Just
we
suck
did
it up.
We
But
We
had
also-
did it
so
all the
many
time.
times.
It had to happen.
Just a note here though, and it's just because you lose in the beginning doesn't mean that there's not time to fix it. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
they got Dol Guldur and we lost it.
The
Sorry,
comeback
guys.
king.
I mean, that will likely
let me,
happen to
let me
us
just
this
AFK
season.
for the rest of the season. Like you don't have to AFK for the rest of the season. Just coming in for your free draws or whatever, and then you're out. No, strategize with the other factions and see if there's a
Yes.
way to beat them. Okay, take it this way. There's only a certain amount of numbers in Mordor, right? You're telling me that you can't scrounge up the rest of your server and say, hey, let's just try and win against Mordor. Let's all form an alliance, and then you know what? If we manage to push back Mordor, then we'll decide who wins Dol Guldur. There's so much strategy that goes into this game that, again, it really should be emphasized. There's more strategy in this game than there is, actually gameplay mechanics when you're talking about different commanders and different units. That's such an important piece when it comes to this game, and so that's why just don't
give up.
take it laying down. Just don't
Yep.
take it laying down,
Yeah.
and actually come back with your season and try to make something out of it.
But that's kind of all we got for y'all today. Kind of want to wrap it up there, and you're gonna be seeing more videos from us all together. We finally all got situated, and hopefully you'll see more videos from us. But that's all we got here today. So we'll see you next time. This is IPP My Kids IRL.
This is Sir Chubbulus.
It's Regency.
All right, we'll see y'all in the next one.